ははは。チェックチェックマグチェック。ははは。ですですです。ワンツー。
Where are you going, Holmes? Have you been invited somewhere?
We have been invited, Watson.
We have? Where to?
To the Baker Street Irregulars' annual dinner. They sent us an invitation. It is on the table.
A dinner? How could those street urchins afford anything like that? I can't understand your interest in them, Holmes. They're dirty. They wouldn't hesitate to steal your wallet.
Watson, you should be excited. It is a secret dinner. Its location changes every year. Read the menu. Sounds mouth-watering.
All right. We, the secret police of Baker Street, invite you, Sherlock Holmes, and Dr. Watson to our annual dinner. Menu, entree, frozen rat head salad. Is this a joke?
Not at all. Pray continue.
Main course, sow's udder in Danny Nutcracker's way. Sounds disgusting, Holmes. Hedgehog goulash. Street turnips in homemade juice. And it goes on.
I can hear them on the stairs now.
Well, we can't go there. We can't eat that.
Watson, you'll hurt the feelings of those poor children. We have to go.
Oh, Mr. Holmes.
It is fine, Mrs. Hudson.
Mr. Holmes!
Wiggins, Dr. Watson is getting ready. He will be delighted to join us. You don't look well, my young man. Is there something wrong? Don't tell me the dinner is cancelled.
Mr. Holmes, it's my brother Leighton. He's in a prison cell. They say he's killed 2 men. You have to help us, Mr. Holmes, 'cause I know he didn't do it.
Where is he now?
From what I've heard, they took him to the yard, and they gave him a good beating already. You know what they're like. They'll hang him. They won't look any further.
Holmes, we have to help him.
Well, and forget about the dinner. Wiggins, I'll take the case.
You're fantastic, Mr. Holmes. I'll be waiting for you at the crime scene. You'll be there, right? It's on Half Moon Street in Whitechapel.
Very well.
Holmes, poor little Wiggins needs our help.
Please, gentlemen, leave the scene now. Oh, Mr. Holmes, is that you?
Good evening, Constable...
Constable Marrow. I was here with Inspector Aberline during the Ripper case, Mr. Holmes, back in '88. But then this is nothing like that case. With this one, we've got the murderer, the weapon, and the statements, which speak for themselves.
Of course, Marrow. But you know that appearances can sometimes be deceiving. Who were the victims?
The two men here, both shot. The stab fellow was Brian Vercotti, a well-known ruffian. The other, Kenneth Butler, a jeweller by trade.
You spoke of statements. You have witnesses?
Well, I was there, so I gave my own statement. And then there were two other witnesses who said they saw the killer Chapman. Mr. Turner, a gentleman who lives in that flat over there. And Polly Powell, a flower seller, who was over at the far side of the street.
So, Constable Marrow, I should be delighted to hear your testimony.
I was standing at the north side of Half Moon Street. That was the side that you came from.
But you would have been unable to observe this part of the street, where we are standing now.
That is correct. But I saw the two victims slowly enter Half Moon Street, and then shortly after, the fireworks started. A few minutes after that, the fellow Chapman rushed towards me and ran into Half Moon Street.
Please continue.
I didn't pay attention, but suddenly I heard a woman's cries and police whistles on the other side of Half Moon Street. I rushed over there and I saw the two dead bodies on the ground. When I reached Whitechapel Street, I saw Leighton Chapman. He'd been caught by two police constables.
Did you hear the shots?
I didn't hear any shots. The fireworks were all over the sky. They were so loud I couldn't hear anything else.
What were the fireworks in honour of, Constable?
Well, today's Queen Victoria's birthday, Mr. Holmes.
Ah, yes, I appear to have lost track of the days. It is May now, of course. Constable Marrow, what else caught your attention while you were running through Half Moon Street?
I saw nothing but rats, and I took the time to light every corner with my lamp.
Did you happen to look up at Mr. Turner's window when you were on Half Moon Street at that time?
Yes, I saw that the window was open, but no one was there. It was dark in the room.
Constable, your statements have been of great value to me. He tried to stop the bleeding with his hand. Death was not instant. The bullet penetrated his stomach, a dreadful wound. A tattoo from Westgate Prison. Vercotti must have done some time there. Brian Vercotti suffered greatly. What a terrible way to die. A fairly long pole with a forked end. A piece of wood that has stuck between the cobblestones. Let us take a closer look. This shard of wood is quite new. The bullet struck his head. This man didn't stand a chance. This is an ordinary key. I wonder what kind of door it opens.
I'll do anything to save my brother, Mr. Holmes.
Good evening, Mr. Turner.
I heard Constable Marrow reply to you as Mr. Holmes. Are you that detective gentleman? I've heard of you. And, well, I know things about this evening.
Excellent. Might we hear your story? Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
I was already in bed when the fireworks started. A few moments after, I clearly heard 2 gunshots from outside.
Please continue.
I quickly got up and I grabbed the lamp from my nightstand and I rushed towards the window. I looked down and I saw 2 bodies. And there was a man with a gun who was standing nearby.
Where exactly?
Well, near this body.
Did he notice you?
I don't think so. He rushed towards Whitechapel Street without looking around.
Mr. Turner, did you see anyone else in the street?
No, I saw no one but that man, the murderer, the fellow they caught.
Were the 2 shots you heard consecutive?
Yes, there was a very short pause between them, and they sounded different somehow. It seemed to me that the second shot was louder than the first.
That is an interesting comment. Mr. Turner, what were your actions after you stepped up to the window?
I was afraid that the man with the gun might return, so I stayed close to the window till I saw the policeman coming in the Half Moon from Whitechapel. Then I walked out to tell them everything I saw.
You have helped us a great deal, Mr. Turner. Mr. Turner, you have stated that you remained close by your window after the crime, is that correct?
Oh, yes, Mr. Holmes. I stayed at my window until the policeman arrived to examine the dead bodies.
That is very interesting, Mr. Turner. Constable Marrow stated that he did not see anyone at the window when he was running through Half Moon Street.
Well, I think Constable Marrow and me, we might have been distracted by the whistles and shouts coming from Whitechapel. We could have missed each other somehow. You understand what I mean? It was a bit of a stressful moment, to tell you the truth, sir.
Allow me to form my own theories, Mr. Turner. Would you mind showing me the view that you had from your window?
Not at all, Mr. Holmes. Please, follow me.
Mr. Turner appears to live very modestly. This fire is dying out. It was last tended to over an hour ago. The papers are almost entirely burned. I am unable to see what's written here. These words are illegible. The papers were thrown into the fire just a short while ago. A perfect match. So, Mr. Turner broke his stick when it became stuck between the cobblestones. He did not mention that he was so near to the victims. The books on this shelf are in a mess. It looks as though Mr. Turner was trying to find something in a hurry here a short while ago. Mr. Turner was roused from his bed by the sound of gunshots. So, that's the view Mr. Turner had when he opened the window. Brian Vercotti's contorted corpse. The dead body of Kenneth Butler. Mr. Turner had a perfect view of the crime scene. He saw the bodies clearly, and Leighton Chapman standing over them. This kitchen knife is quite sharp. There are pieces of shredded paper scattered over the table. This kitchen knife was used to cut the paper. No, it didn't happen this way. So Mr. Turner used a book to hide an object that he found on Kenneth Butler's body. The question is, what did he find? I can see prints from greasy fingers upon the cover of this book. Let us take a closer look. Well now, what a find! A precious jewel, concealed inside a book. A bracelet with a unique ram's head design, a distinctive feature of ancient Grecian artifacts, probably of the Hellenistic era.
よいしょ、本当にちょっと待って。やった。やったよ。マイク入ってなかった。30分ぐらい無音やった？ごめん。うわー、やったわー。やったよ。改めまして、どうも、ひろぽんでございます。シャーロック・ホームズ、罪と罰、半月夜の散歩、やっていきたいと思います。やったなぁ。マジか。ちょっと待って。説明する必要あるかな。なんかホームズに使える、なんか貧民層の少年がいるんですけど、ビギンスっていう。彼のお兄さんがなんか殺人の容疑で捕まっちゃって、それをどうにか助けてほしいって来たんですよ。で、今こんな感じで調べてます。はい。もうホームズもこんな顔なるわ。お前音声入ってないやんけつって、マイク入っとらんやんけつって。ふう、ターナーさん。窓へ移動する。
Mr. Turner, how would it be possible for a man of advanced years, such as yourself, to rush from his bed to the window in a matter of seconds, as you have stated?
Well, I'm able to move very quickly, despite my age. And when the situation requires it, Mr. Holmes.
嘘だ。貴様は足に障害がある。
I highly doubt that, Mr. Turner. I observe that you suffer a severe limp due to your injured right leg. It would have taken at least 10 seconds
まだ30分でよかったな。1時間やって気づかんかったらやばかったな。まだ事件も序盤の序盤やし。
You're right, Mr. Holmes. I could have missed something. But it did seem to me that everything happened so quickly. Oh, time can pull tricks on you.
本当のことを言いなさい。
And what of everything else that you told us? Mr. Turner, it is vital that we have your complete and true statement.
Mr. Holmes, I do assure you that the other things I said were most sincere.
あぶね。ちょっと待って。骨董の腕飾り。
Mr. Turner, you were not sincere with me. Not then, and not now.
前回もそして
But
今も
Mr.
だ。
Holmes,
This, Mr. Turner, does not look like anything that a poor man might possess. It is worth more than the home that you live in.
I can explain.
No, merely correct me if I am wrong. You saw Leighton Chapman through the window, but you also noticed a glittering object on the ground, this precious jewel. You walked down and took the bracelet from the body of Kenneth Butler, and when you heard the whistles, you hurried away. That broke your walking stick. It caught fast between the cobbles. Constable Marrow was unable to see you in the window as you were climbing up the stairs on your way back to your flat. Upon returning home, you hid the precious jewel inside a book.
Mr. Holmes, please don't send me to prison. I didn't do anything bad. I'm just a poor man. When I chanced upon the bracelet, I saw it as an opportunity to make a little money. I was desperate. I only took the bracelet, that's all, I swear.
You made a mistake by lying to me. But you are not a criminal. I believe that.
確かに。
Although I must return this bracelet to its rightful owner.
はい。うん。これで終わりかい？
That's why it's better to stay at home at night.
そやな。じゃあ、ターナーさんは適当なことを言ってたということで、このままなのご遺体。
It would be my pleasure to assist you with your investigation, Mr. Holmes.
Mr. Holmes?
I'll do anything to save my brother, Mr. Holmes.
次はこっちだな。なんかこういう壁に貼ってあるのは普通なのかい？広い通りに出てな。お、こんにちは。ホリー・パウエル。
Mrs. Powell?
What do you want?
My name is Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock
I'm
Holmes.
assisting the police with their investigation of the crime that took place this evening.
Well, I've already gave my testimony, but very well.
あれ？人間観察できない。あなたの証言。
Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
Yes, yes. I was selling my flowers as usual, and then the fireworks began in honour of Queen Victoria. I enjoyed those. But then, all of a sudden, a young lad ran out of Half Moon Street and stopped just by me. He had a gun in his hand. He was like a ghost, and all covered in blood.
血
It
ま
was
みれ。
dark, but I could see him because of the flashes from the fireworks.
And then?
And
I
then
screamed as loud as I could. I knew that a policeman should be on duty in the vicinity. He
叫
had
びそ
no
う。
time to escape. 2 constables got him. Then another constable came out from the very same street, and I heard him talking of a horrible murder.
銃声。
Mrs. Powell, did you hear the gunshots?
I'm not sure. You know, what with the
みんな言う
fireworks.
ね。花火が上がっていたから銃声は聞こえなかったって。
Did you see anyone else leaving Half Moon Street prior to or at the time of the crime?
No, sir, I did not. Even with all the fireworks, I was very attentive, as I'm always on the lookout for customers.
My
なる
thanks
ほど。
to you, Mrs. Powell.
うん。書庫で見つけた。そしたら一回あれだな。自宅戻って、この書物じゃねえわ。証拠について調べよう。この腕飾りの。よし。ベーカーワイ。ちょっと待っとってね。ごめんね。 はい、すいません。戻ってきました。続ける。お、飛び。撫でる。
Toby. All you need now
愛
is
犬
a
か。
shawl and a mock cap, and you could be Mrs. Hudson's younger sister.
妹ってことはメスなのか、飛び。いる。めっちゃ見とる。まあ、それはよくてさ。書庫から。これか。これだ。これらの美しい骨董宝飾品はヘレニズムの宝が所蔵する代表作の一部である。マイクついてるの大丈夫ね。腕飾り、首飾り、そして指輪には5個の大角羊の頭が描かれている。宝石はどれも純金製。ミティリーニの5頭の羊は1885年に行方不明になっている。
Here it is.
Here it is.
I need to continue my research in my archives.
骨董品に関する記事を読む。どこだ、新聞だな。1886年って言ってた。85年か。これか。ヘレニズムの宝が盗まれた。大胆な泥棒。昨晩、ヘレニズムの芸術作品が大英博物館からグラスファード美術展覧会への輸送中に盗まれた。宝を乗せた、辻馬車が襲われたのである。チャーチ通りにある質屋の主人、ケネス・バトラーがその日、ケネス・バトラーあれ、被害者じゃないか。歴史的芸術作品の一組を彼の店で売ろうとしていた男がいたと、スコットランドヤードに情報提供した。警察は彼から得た、犯人像の男を捕らえた。ヴィンセント・フォーリーという名の窃盗常習犯で、ロンドン港から脱出を試みようとしていたところだった。ヘレニズムの、芸術作品を輸送した辻馬車の運転手がこの男を確認した。ヴィンセント・フォーリーは残りの作品の隠し場所を白状しなかった。最終的に強盗罪で投獄された。失われた宝はまだ見つかっていない。
Here it is.
Here it is.
One of the victims, Kenneth Butler, was involved in the story of the stolen Hellenistic treasures. A visit to his pawn shop should tell me more.
土屋。使い道を見つける。あ、じゃあこれはケネス・バトラーの店の金庫の鍵かなんかかな。はいはい。これさ、ごめん。ビギンズのビギンズか。お兄ちゃんちょっと後回しでいいかな。続ける。ちょっと待って、なんかグラスに。あら。グラスにさ、髪の毛ついてる嫌だね。全然届いてない。よいしょ。びっくりした。待って、なんでワトソンそんな遠くにおんねん。ここではない。ここでもない。ここでもない。鍵を使う。
Mr. Butler's key matches the lock perfectly.
あ、いた。ここがバトラーのお店か。環状台の天板。調べる。なんかいっぱいあるな。信号拳
A
銃。
flare pistol. Perhaps it was pawned by a destitute sailor.
うん。本当にいろんなものが置いてあるな。興味ある対象物。うん。こういうのもある。登山用グッズ。
Crampons and a sharp ice axe
Hmm.
would only be brought here by a mountaineer.
興味のある対象物。なるほど。お、環状台。引き出し。おっと、あの
The
首飾り
ram's
じゃん。
heads. This necklace belongs to the 5 rams of Mittelin collection.
ほ
Interesting.
う。
That means that Kenneth Butler owned a part of this collection all this time, 10 years after the theft.
嘘ついてたのか。ブライアン、ビーコッテ、ビーコッティ、バーコッティの手紙。いや、ケネス、いつか俺に古代ギリシャのもので羊の頭がついた金の宝石3点について話してくれたよな。まだ持ってるんだろう。いい知らせがあるぜ。その宝石をどうしても欲しいという金持ちの男を見つけたんだ。いつでも大金を払えるんだとよ。あんたとこの男の面会を手配してもいい。だが俺にも取引の分け前を払ってほしい。日曜の夜、花火が始まる前にグレートアーリーとハーフムーン通りが交差する場所で待っている。ブライアン・ビーコッティ。はあ。お、帳
It
簿。
looks as though Mr. Butler kept a careful record of his operations.
なるほど。なんか増えたね。2人のバトラーの宝石、消息不明の芸術品。ああ。強盗が動機。いや、あ、よし。どれも合わねえ。うん。うん。まあ、スコットランドヤードに行くか、じゃあ。よし。なんかきな臭くなってきたな。まあ、とりあえずレイトンから話を聞こ
Mr. Holmes, whatever brings you here so late at night?
I'm interested in the case of young Leighton Chapman. He was arrested earlier this evening and accused of a double murder.
I beg your pardon? That case is quite clear to the police. Or are there any new facts that we don't know about?
Who knows, Inspector?
Look, you are free to investigate, of course, Mr. Holmes. Chapman was arrested with a revolver in his possession, which you can find in the evidence room. The suspect himself is in custody.
Did you find anything else on his person?
A few personal belongings. Nothing particular, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, Lestrade.
へえ。これか。あ、確かに銃を持ってる。
So this is the gun that Leighton was holding when he was
ウ
caught by
ェブリー
the
自
police.
動拳
It
銃
is a Webley
自動
revolver,
回転式
a
拳銃。
reliable weapon.
ああ、このタイプの銃ね。まだあれだね、中折れ式のリボルバーだね。これは、あれか、シングルアクションか。ダブルアクションの場合だったら、もうちょっと違う気ですけど。わからん、そんなに銃詳しくないから。あ、今のリボルバーだったら、この、弾が入ってるここがカチャってこうやって横に出るんだけど、これはまだそういうのじゃなくて、この真ん中から折れるようになってて、多分折ると同時に多分廃墟されるんじゃなかったかな。まあそんな話はどうでもよくて。
It seems as though the shells were not removed from the cylinder.
重心。ほらほら。ああ、確かに。
Two out of the 6 shells have been fired. There were 2 shots.
時
A
計。
cheap watch, bought with his own money, no doubt.
安い時計。リンゴ。タバ
These
コ。
cigarettes are filled with cheap tobacco. Nothing interesting.
回転式拳銃。2人の被害者。確かにそういうことだね。共通する供述。目撃者の証言とし、所持していた凶器が一人の可能な犯人を明らかにしている。レイトン・チャップ。まあそうなんだけど。同時の発砲。実際は3発発砲されたが、ターナーには2つの異なる銃声音として聞こえた。最初に1発発砲され、その後すぐに2発の銃弾がほぼ同時に発射された。射撃位置。銃はそれぞれハーフムーン通りの全く違う場所から発砲された。これはちょっとわからんくね。違うな。違うね。まあ、とりあえずレイトン君に話聞こうか。ここ開けるけどなんか調べられんのかな。特に来てない。いえいえ。いえいえ。アンチ室って嫌だね。よし。 この人か。デントン・チャップマン。
Please escort this suspect for interrogation. Good evening, Mr. Chapman.
あ、似てる、ちょっと。
I've got nothing to say. It's all a mistake.
Calm down, Leighton. I have come here to help you. To find out if you truly are innocent, as your younger brother Wiggins has told me.
My brother? You know him? Then that means you're...
Sherlock Holmes.
シャーロック・ホームズ。
Oh, blimey. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell you everything.
めちゃめちゃ信頼されてる。人間観察。まあ、傷だよね。深い傷跡。時々喧嘩する路上育ち。あ、まあ、そうやね。つい最近殴られた後。向こう水。あ、早すぎた。あ、この後ね。洒落た服装。事務員なんだ。こう見えて。あ、そのマーク。ほう。では、あなたの話をしよう。
Good. Tell me your account of what happened.
I left my work and I hurried up to see the fireworks in Whitechapel. I was late, so I decided to cut through Half Moon Street. I saw the first fireworks light up in the sky. I bumped into a constable on a corner before entering Half Moon. Then suddenly, what with all the firework flare, I saw two men. They were both lying flat in the middle of the street. I stopped where I was. I thought about turning back to the police, but as I was thinking of that, I saw a third person.
3人目の男を見た。
He was leaning over the body that was furthest from me. The second I saw him, he raised his head and he stared at me. In a flash, I saw his gun, but he made a dash for it instead and he escaped through Whitechapel Street.
戻る時間があった。
So you might still have had time to return to the constable.
まあまあまあ
I panicked. I didn't know what to do. Anyway, I approached the bodies just to see if they were still alive. I saw that one had blood pumping out of his stomach. He was dying. It was horrible. The second one was already dead. He had a hole in his head. He was holding a gun in his hand, though. I took it, and then I followed the third man.
続けて。どうか続けてください。
Interesting. Pray, continue.
I turned a corner, and I saw the man standing in the middle of the street. He seemed to be in some sort of panic.
Oh.
And then, Mr. Holmes, something strange happened. I told the police and they laughed at what I said, but I swear to you, my words are true. I started running towards him. But then I was blinded by a flash. It was so bright that I hardly saw anything for a good dozen seconds.
ほ
But I kept running forward. As I arrived in Whitechapel, I heard a woman screaming. And then I was caught by the police. But there wasn't a trace of that man. Of course, then they found a gun and all that blood. I couldn't see the murderer escaping and all that mess. Perhaps I was still half-blinded at that moment.
A thrilling account, my young man.
う。ゾクゾクするような話だ。3人目の男。
Leighton, are you able to describe the person whom you saw standing in Half Moon Street?
Well, I wasn't able to see his face at all. It was too dark. And he was too far away. I could see his silhouette.
And what about that?
Nothing so special. He was wearing a jacket. He was quite average in size and his weight.
I see. Was there anything else that struck you at the time?
No. But perhaps it's strange, but I can't remember the sound of his footsteps as he was running away. Perhaps it was because of the fireworks or the surprise of me seeing him.
なぜ後を追ったのか。
Leighton, I confess I am puzzled. Why should a young lad like you take a gun from the hands of a dead man and set off in pursuit of a probable killer?
I know. I keep wondering that, but at the time it was like a reflex. A criminal ought to be arrested, and he was armed.
You were willing to risk your life. That was a little foolish, unless... You wanted revenge?
No, Mr. Holmes. I was just being brave and stupid.
はい。
I'm sure that you were, but I believe that you may have recognized one of the victims,
同じ
Brian Vercotti. You
とこ
knew
に
that
あれ
gentleman
監修さ
well,
れてた
did
で
you
しょ。
not?
However could you know that?
そのタトゥー
You
だ。
have a typical tattoo of the Westgate Brotherhood upon your hand. I observed exactly the same mark upon Mr. Vercotti. You came to know him from your sharing a past prison sentence. Am I correct, Mr. Chapman?
God. You're right, Mr. Holmes.
すべてまるっとお見通しさ。ブライアン・バーコッティについて。
Would you tell me a little about Brian Vercotti?
バーコッテ
We were
ィ。
convicted for a robbery. Once in prison, both of us joined one of these fraternities. During that year, we tried to help each other out, you know?
You were quite young then, I believe.
Yes, Mr. Holmes, we were. We'd only stolen a pound of meat. After we were released, and when I saw what my little brother had become, I decided to work towards living an honest life.
And Vercotti?
He had a hard time. His sister had died in a Whitechapel dispensary while he was in prison. He had no family anymore. Our paths split. He fell back into crime.
So you lost him?
Yes. And for around 2 years, I heard no news of him at all.
We shall see you soon, young man.
レイトンの供述。二人の架空の人物。ほう。古市。どっちだこっち。でもレイトン・チャップマンがやったのかな。同時に発砲。でもそうなると薬莢が3つないとダメだよね。じゃない？こっちでいくか。これはなんか同時っていうより射撃位置の問題だと思うけど。お。早い。ちょっと待って。レイトン・チャップマンはウィギンズの兄で、今20代。路上で育ち、向こう水な若者。以前罪を犯してウェストゲート監獄で服役をしたことがある。現在は過去の路上生活を断ち切り、どっかの事務員で働いているだ。早くない？ちょっと待って。同時発砲。 ハーフムーン通りで起きた発砲はケネス・バターとブライアン・バーコッティが互いに発砲し弾丸が交差した相打ちの可能性がある。はあ、なるほど。いやだって絶対違うでしょ。待って、個人的な動機。よいしょ。遺体来てんのかな。これ違う遺体。これまたあれ戻ればいいのかな。相打ちの可能性か。でもそれ一番あり得るな。はいはい。遺体ってまだあるの？あるわ。
What's up with you, lad? What are you waiting for?
I'm waiting for my brother to be released.
Your brother?
The one that you caught, beat up and imprisoned.
Ah, the murderer.
He ain't killed no one, copper.
Watch your mouth, lad, else you'll be joining that worthless brother of yours.
こいつ。
It would be my pleasure to assist you with your investigation, Mr. Holmes.
I am unable to see any higher. I need to find something to lift my lamp.
これだな。
This should be useful.
はいはい。急に。弾痕の跡。
This is most definitely a bullet hole. The brick cracks are fresh. Watson, there was a third shot fired in this street.
なるほど。はいはい。手がかり。はいはい。消えた男。マロ巡査と話して犯行が来た時間にハーフムーン通りの暗い場所で誰にも見つからずに隠れることが可能なのか確かめている。
Constable Marrow, I would value your assistance in this
何でも
investigation.
すぐ言うとったもんね。
It would be my pleasure, Mr. Holmes.
I would like to make sure that there are no places in Half Moon Street where a man could hide while you were running through it with your lamp.
All right, Mr. Holmes, what should I do?
Take your lamp and start walking, just as you did before, and try to find me.
Understood. I can see you very well, Mr. Holmes.
All right, Constable. Let's try again. I'll find another place to hide.
急にかくれんぼ始まったんやけど。それ分かるっ
Here
て。
you are, Mr. Holmes.
All right, Constable. Let's try again. I'll find another place to
まあまあ
hide.
可能性はね、試していかないと。うん。あれ、あ、いた。
Mr. Holmes, it wasn't difficult to find you at all.
It is obvious now. No one could escape Constable Marrow's lamp while hiding in the street.
うん。ほう。壁の上の方。事件が起きたとき、もう一人の男がハーフム通りにいたと仮定した場合、その男の逃げ道は前後ではなく上しかなかった。ほう。あ、それは、あれだな。ごめん。質屋だ。ちょっと明るくなってきたな。あれ、反対側だった。あれ、あ、俺が行き過ぎただけか。うん。
These
登山用
tools
の
are exactly what I need to climb the wall.
うん。あとは、うん。
This is exactly what we need in order to imitate the flash of the fireworks.
あと、はいはい。じゃあこれはまた戻ればいいかな。うん。そうそう、来たぞ。どっかに登った跡あるでしょ、こんなん。
Why are you looking at me all the time like that?
I'm just watching you, lad. I never know what to expect from people like you.
ラットっていうと思
People
うな。
like me?
Yes, street beggars and thieves.
I ain't a thief.
Oh no? Then where did you get whatever it is that you're gnawing on? I very much doubt that you bought
マ
it.
ローさん。
What ain't seen can't hardly be stolen.
大丈夫か？ヒーン大丈夫か？
I'll do anything to save my brother, Mr. Holmes.
Constable Marrow, Watson, I would like to perform another kind of reenactment with your help.
I'm listening, Mr. Holmes.
I want to check if Leighton's testimony can be trusted. If someone could vanish into thin air at a specific moment.
But Holmes, I don't see how.
I am going to be the mysterious gentleman whom Leighton followed. I will stand exactly where he saw him before he was blinded by the flash. Watson, you will be Leighton. When I fire the signal flare, you should start to chase me.
I understand, Holmes.
You, Constable Marrow, just play your part and do exactly as you did. Just, please, wait 5 seconds after the signal flare. I doubt that Polly Powell would have screamed any earlier.
As you say, Mr. Holmes.
Let us begin then. Catch me if you can.
壁に何でしょう。あ、
The moon illuminates this wall. Anyone trying to climb it would be easily spotted by Constable Marrow.
確かに。
This wall is cast in shadow. It would be difficult to see anyone scaling it.
ほーい。わあ、眩しい。おお、眩しい。ほっ、急に。よいしょ。ふって、
I can barely see anything.
よっ。ふっくっきーし。ふっくす。ふっくっ
Holmes,
くっ。
are you there?
ホームズどこにいるのって、ここにいるよ。よいしょ。急に。
Where is he? My God, a man can't just disappear like that. Holmes? Holmes? Where are you?
I cannot see you, Mr. Holmes. Dr. Watson, it seems that Mr. Holmes has disappeared.
Don't worry, gentlemen. I am up here, above your heads.
すんげえことになっ
How
て
on earth did you get up there, Holmes?
I am using crampons and a climbing axe, although the person we are looking for did not leave any traces of such tools. Constable, is there any way to get to the top of this building?
Yes, Mr. Holmes, I can show you. The door to the building can be found from Whitechapel Street.
Gentlemen, I am on my way down.
どうやって降りんの？はい。屋根裏を調べる。ガラスの破片。
These shards of glass are from the window above.
お、ここから入ってきたのか。なんかあるぞ。
Someone broke through the window to get inside the
上
attic.
着が引っかかり破
But
け
in
てし
his
まった。
haste, he ripped his jacket. It's empty.
から上着、粗末な服、黒い糸。
A cluster of thick black threads. They're unusually strong. I should examine them under the microscope. We can conclude that the person whom Leighton saw climbed up the wall, broke into the attic window,
な
and
るほど。
escaped through the hatch.
あった証拠ができた。レイトンの教授。壁よじ登り人間。レイトンの無実。 こういうことね。黒い糸の分析を行う。というわけで、ベーカーが家へ戻る。誰だろうな、犯人。まだ出てきたことのないやつかな。こんな遅くに。外か。分析。
Let us take a closer look.
毛、
It is not a thread, but a hair. I very much doubt that it is
人
human.
間のものではないだろう。
I need to compare this sample with a human hair and a horse hair. A shaving brush is usually made from
髭剃り用のブラシは普通馬の毛で。
Could you please pass me your shaving brush?
Here you are.
Watson, look, what's outside the window?
Well, I don't see anything. Ouch! Holmes.
Oh, don't make such a fuss. One little hair.
しかも白髪やし。
Human hair is significantly thinner than the black sample. The horse hair is thinner than the hair that we found. So, this black hair belongs to an
馬より
animal
大きい
and
動
it
物
is
のもの。
larger than a horse. A hair from a large and exotic animal.
クマとか。はあ。サーカスの経営業師。ハーフムーン通りの犯罪現場から消えた男はサーカスの経営業師である可能性が高い。9メートルほどの高さの壁を数秒で登ることができる。脱ぎ捨てられた上着には珍しい動物の毛が付着していた。ほう。レイトン・チャップマンが目撃した男は壁をよじ登って犯行現場から逃げた。腕のいい経業師だった。犯罪者は死体から銃を持ち去った。何で持ち去るの？ビギーンズ。出番だよ、ビギーンズ。あそこまで行けばいいのかな。また言い争ってるかな。マロ13ちょっと当たりきつない？
Wiggins, my lad, what are you doing here? You'd best be leaving and be quick about it.
I've done nothing wrong. You'd learn more by watching Mr. Holmes. He knows exactly what he's doing. Not like you.
Oi, what's your
おいっ
tongue?
て言った。
It would be my pleasure to assist you with your investigation, Mr.
こい
Holmes.
つ。ビギンス、お前の出番だ。
Mr. Holmes?
We have good news for you, Wiggins. The investigation has proven very interesting so far. We found facts and details that confirm your brother's innocence.
I knew it, Mr. Holmes.
But for now, Wiggins, we need your
君の
help.
助けが必要だ。
Anything you like, Gov.
I need you to locate a circus that has stopped over in London. It needs to have disposed of at least one exotic animal, a very large one.
You can count on me, Mr. Holmes.
うん。さあ、見つかったかな。次の日、非常に朝早く。早朝ですね。
I do hope that those children don't get into trouble, Holmes.
確かに。
Don't worry, Watson. I predict some news in 7 seconds.
1、2、3。
Mr. Holmes, we found it. Here it is.
3秒やった。お、象
And
の絵。
this is a young Indian elephant, the highlight of the show.
ドゥバルブロス。Greatest Show on Earth。The Marvelous Dancing Elephants。うん。デュバルブロスさ。
Duval Brothers, a well-known travelling circus that has currently stopped in London. I believe that is exactly the type of circus we are looking for. I'll pay it a visit.
サーカスのハリコーク。じゃあ行きましょうか、早速。デュバルブロスサーカス。早着いた。
Aye, you. Stop right there.
Good morning, sir. Pardon me, but why am I not allowed to walk around here?
Because it's private.
Well, I only wanted to meet the artistes.
Hmm? You're wanting to apply for... Nah. You don't look
錠前
like
破
the
りの
type
殺
of
人。
artistic lockpicker that we're looking for.
You might be surprised.
それはどうかな。
What? Nah. I don't think so. Clear off.
変装をする。変装。
You're a bit slow to catch on, eh?
あ、ダメだわ。そっか。ベーカーがいい。コスプレせんな。この時代にピエロってあんのかな。はあ。とりあえず半額の格好をし、いかにもうさんくさそうな。ここですか。帽子か。 これでいけるやろ。
A map of London and the surrounding area. Spectacles are unpopular among thugs.
メガネは悪党の間で評判悪いんだ。あ、そうなの。メガネいいなと思ったけど。結構さらけ出しちゃってるけど。
Stay where you are. What are you doing here, and where is Sherlock Holmes?
Calm down, Watson. Take deep breaths now. It's me.
Thank God, Holmes. I can't get used to your disguises.
まあ急に
Thank you,
あれ
Watson. That
部屋入ったと
means
思ったら別
I'm
人出てくる
ready
も
to
ん
go.
な。最高。
Hello,
Dobry
Toby.
dzień.
All you.
ちょっと隠れた。ちょっと隠れた。よし。めっちゃかっこいいけどな、このホームズ。
Who are you? What's your name?
My name is Nigel. I'm here to open the locks.
Talented, eh? Let's see. Go inside the
Charles
market and show
Foley.
yourself to Charles Foley. And I'd highly advise you not to trick him. Got that?
I've got it.
だいぶ廃れてんな。ここは通れない。うん。まあ、ここ行ってみるか。うん。
So, everything is here just as you asked. And what about the money? Some of the barrels are wet. Transportation issues. It can't be helped. Whatever. We'll be here after midnight to pick up the supplies. I want to be paid first. No. You'll be paid after we make the transfer.
絶対後で消されるぞ。
Right? I hope that no one saw you. The police are on the lookout. Of course not. I'm a professional. Glad to hear it. Be ready for tonight then.
な腕怪我してるっぽいけど。うん。樽を調べる。
This wooden barrel is damaged. It is difficult to say what is inside. There is a spot on this barrel that was intentionally painted out.
ほう。うん、シャーロック。あいつ。紋章。
Crest of the Honorable Artillery
名誉
Company.
砲兵
Could it
中
be
隊の紋章。
gunpowder? I need to
火
be
薬
sure. Judging by the fractions and the scent, I can confirm that it is, in fact, gunpowder. The barrels are roughly clustered. It seems as though they were brought here in a hurry.
なるほど。うん。 まあ出るか。ん？うん。あれ、どこ行った本当に。待って。うん。お、印刷機。Rise up.
From lambs into lions. Those are words of encouragement and defiance. That's a
男の絵。
picture of a contemporary gentleman wearing a Robin Hood hat. Interesting. This poster was clearly made
人
to
々の闘争
fire
心
up
を奮い立た
rebellion
せる
amongst
ため
the
に作ら
people.
れた。テロリズムか。やだね
This printing press is old, but still quite capable of printing hundreds of pages per day. There are enough posters to paste across half of London's walls.
なるほど。
Powder kegs, a printing press, and a great many blank papers. All of this was stolen by the Merry Men quite recently. And these poster samples. I am quite sure it is not a coincidence. The Merry Men are planning some sort of sabotage.
Stop right here.
Ah.
Who are you?
Are you Charles Foley?
Maybe.
They say that I can open any door.
Do they now? We'll see that lock near the chains on the table over there. Open that.
わかった。悪そうな顔してる。人間観察。あれ。お。複雑な鍵。安全な場所。胸毛。ちぎる。これ怪我してるね。最近の外傷。出た。ブルドッグ拳銃。なんだっけ。凶器と一緒だね。おもう、お前やん。お前ちんちん。うん。あ。怪我。共感。あ、これか。テープが曲がった指。はいはいはい。チャールズ・フォーリー。チャールズ・フォーリーはデュバル・ブロス・サーカスの一員であり、団長でもある。団長なんだ。常に練習して技を磨いている腕のいい軽業師。フォーリーはかなり迷信深い男のようだ。いつも武装していて危険な人物である。宝飾品を身につけることを好んでいる。うん。 反逆的な、張り紙。うん、骨董品年表。あれ、はいはい。じゃあそれを解けばいいのね。で、こういうのは。あ、ちょ。あ、いや、違うな。うん、うん。じゃあ難しいな。 あ、来た来た来た。よし。結構難しかった。お、視点が。開けたよ。
Ah, well, they're right. What's your name?
Nigel Shirley, from York.
Ah, Nigel from York. Never heard anything about you. How'd you hear about me?
これ難しいな。正しい答えは、初めて間違えた。
Nigel from York. Never heard anything about you. How'd you hear about me?
はいはい。
It's a long story. I met your brother, Vincent the Butcher Foley, in prison. He told me all about his betrayal and all about you. Before I was released, he told me that you might find a job for me one day and pay me some money for my craft.
Well, he died 7 days ago in prison.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's all right. The traitor has paid the blood price for it.
ほ
And you'll do the job anyway, because I need a talented lockpicker. I know
遺
just
産のあ
where
りか。
to search for his legacy.
It's all about the Hellenistic treasures, isn't it?
Gosh, you fool. Now, listen up. You'll come with us tonight, and you better mind yourself.
Us? Wait, who's coming then?
Billy, Jack and me.
And what will I get for that?
We'll share the loot. The one you seem to know about.
Right.
Wait for us at the abandoned manor house on the corner of Ladbroke Grove and Kensington Park Road at midnight.
Deal.
じゃあ早速ノッティングヒルに行きます。このまま。
Here I am at the manor. Somewhere inside it are the Hellenistic treasures. This lock is quite old. It shouldn't be much of a challenge.
またか。複雑やん。何が、ちょっと待って。そういうことか。 来た来た来た。よしよし。ちょっと
I need
認
to
識が
find
甘
where
かっ
the
た。
safe is hidden and lockpick it.
まず下から調べよう。縄が置いてある。本棚を調
This cupboard is an absolute mess.
べる。うん。
Several books have fallen from the shelves. It seems as though this cupboard can be moved. I'll give it a try.
ほ
So, that's the lock I must open tonight. Let me see.
う。またか。動かない。あ、来た。来た来た来た来た。始まった。
What a surprise. Another lock. And I won't be able to pick it. I recall that precious key around Foley's neck.
ああ、なるほ
It
ど。
might prove a decent fit. I suppose they hired me to only open the first lock.
やつは罠にかけてそれを確かめよ
Trap them and find out. Let us check the thieves' possible escape routes in the event that they are caught off guard by the police from the front door. Although this window is high above the ground,
う。うん。
it would be possible for one of the thieves
Oh.
to attempt to use it for their escape.
ダイナミック。 うん。これ邪魔をするって、あ、なんか着地地点になんかサザレ石でも置いとけばいいんじゃないエルデンリングの。
The thieves won't attempt to escape through the front door if the police are right behind it.
これ開けれる？
This door is a perfect means of escape in an emergency.
なんかあらぬ方向に。ごめんごめんごめん。引っかかってた。あ。
This should be useful.
やっぱこれじゃん。あれ、ホームアローンみたいなやつだよね。なんか他にも役立つものあるかな。
This should be useful.
今度おしゃべ。
A solid rope.
うん。
A solid. This door is a perfect means of escape in an emergency.
なんかあんのかな。
What a surprise.
あ、扉のド。
The door is now blocked.
うん。なんかそこにハンマーがあるな。あ、シャンデリア。
I wonder what this old chandelier is doing on the floor. It looks as though it was poorly attached.
あるものは必要。
I suppose that the thieves already tried to open the lock with this formidable hammer, but they were unsuccessful. I wonder what... I wonder...
うん。なるほど。
The door is now... This door is a perfect means of escape in an emergency. The ground floor window is a perfect way to escape the police.
あ、そこもか。
This hatch leads to a cellar. This hatch.
なんか2階にあったっけな。
One step on these beads, and our thief will go flying. I should walk carefully here, else my plan will be ruined.
あ、ホームだと思うね。たったったったったったったった。ずるん。ああ。
Any thief who finds his way upstairs will roll down very quickly. Although this window is high above the ground, it would be possible for one of the thieves to attempt to use it for their escape.
ホームズが滑ってたら面白いけど。
The thieves
なんか、ああ、それか。
I suppose that the thief... I suppose...
何が必要なんだろう。開かないよう。あ、そこにハンマーがある。いやー。絨毯。
Oh, that's a lovely old carpet.
ああ。
The door is now blocked.
なるほどね。わかった。
This hatch leads...
あ、違う。
The door is now blocked. The ground floor window is a perfect way to escape the police. The ground floor window is a perfect way to escape the police. This door is a perfect means of escape in an emergency.
今度
This should be used.
あ、やったやん。わからん、その順番が。
This door is a perfect means of escape in an emergency. The ground floor window is a perfect way to escape the police.
あ、縄を取り付ける。
Now, if anyone takes the hammer, the rope will uncoil and make the chandelier fall.
なるほど。よっしゃ
If
ー。
he runs through the dining room
あ、あ
and
かね。
takes a sledgehammer to force open the door,
あ、
the
ここにハマーがあるじゃ
chandelier
ないか。
will knock him down.
あうわー。事故。戸棚。
This works very well.
あ
No
あ、
one
それでいいんかい。あ、でか。
There is no ladder. If anyone falls here, he will need assistance to get out.
なるほどね。
This hatch leads to
あれ
this hatch.
すごい弦が細かい。
This should be
あ、ちゃんと伏線立てないとダメだな。はい。銃弾で隠す。はいはい。
Now, it's not an open hatch, just a nice carpet on the floor. I should walk carefully here, else my plan will be ruined.
と。
Now,
Ma-
if a thief runs through the kitchen, he'll pay a surprise visit to the cellar. The traps for my circus companions are all prepared. I can leave now, but I'll
幽霊
return
の出入り
later with Charles Foley and his companions.
はい。
Police! Police!
あ
Stop where you are! Where are they?
Trapped, Watson, with your assistance.
How so?
You sounded just like a real Bobby, my dear fellow. You startled them into the traps.
I did?
I assure you, Watson, it was quite an entertaining show. They will not escape the house now.
You scum!
And this is the pistol used for the murder in Half Moon Street.
How'd you know about that?
Have you closed the case yet, Sherlock?
Mycroft,
マイクロフ
what are
ト
you doing here? Did you follow me?
Sherlock,
急に出てきた
it seemed that I used you.
But you should be pleased to know that you have served our queen well, in this instance. So
利用
now,
した。
let us catch the big fish. But this man is not one of the merry men?
No.
Then why exactly are we here, Sherlock?
This gentleman, Charles Foley, has been involved in a double murder, and the hunter of a set of valuable antiques, the Hellenistic treasures, which disappeared in a theft many years ago.
You're no better than the coppers.
さあ、開けよっか。
Holmes, that is incredible.
すげえ
The。Hellenistic treasures.
Indeed.
Nothing but trifles. Where are the merry men?
I don't know why you are asking me, Mycroft. They are yours to
あ、
find.
数仲があんま良くないやん。
I'll see you soon, dear brother.
はいはい。
Holmes, I had no doubt that you would catch the thieves.
Hmm. フォーリーの復讐。チャールズ・フォーリーはヘレニズムの宝石強盗を組織し、ハーフムーン通りで2人を殺害した。いや、もうこんなん有罪でしょうよ。こんなん迷う必要もないわ。ちょっと待ってね。あ、だわ。はい。有罪をください。まあこれで有罪に下すか。うん。はい。
Charles Foley, you committed the crime of premeditated murder and of theft. You will be severely punished for your deeds.
You are pitiful. You Scotland Yard dog.
Save your words for the gallows. I'm sure the journalists will love them. I shall leave now, Watson. Gentlemen, please take our friends here into custody.
Where are you going?
I have unfinished business. I'll see you at Baker Street.
ほう。おー。
Be careful with the lamps. Don't bring them too close to the barrels.
Good evening, gentlemen.
皆さんこんばんは。
Who's there?
That is of no importance. What matters is who you are and the plans that you have here.
かっこいい。
So you can stop us from carrying them out?
Eventually, yes.
Hey, careful. You'll blow us all up.
I'm listening.
We are a group known as the Merry Men. But I suppose you knew that already. We are the men who've already lost everything of value in their lives. We are ruined shopkeepers. We are workers who were fired from their jobs. Honest people who were robbed. We were forced out from our homes and thrown onto the street. And all of this in the name of the so-called law. The laws that were set out by our government. The laws that make the commoners only more vulnerable and the wealthy more protected. We are not only from the British Empire. Some of us are from the new lands, America, Australia. and we are many. But men we are still, and we are merry, for that we stopped being afraid. For those powers that be had done their best to plant the fear inside our souls, and we accepted it so easily. The fear advised us to keep our heads bowed. It prevented us from fighting. Bankers and politicians, they own our lives, our work, our bread, and they push us to compete between each other, just to see who may serve them better. But in the end, they are the few, so they are weak. They are nothing without their titles. We should not fear them. Our so-called masters should fear us instead. The time has come for our group to stand tall. Our great and many merry men. We are going to blow up the London Stock Exchange. No life shall be lost. But ownerships, debts, and property titles, they shall all be destroyed. They're only papers, after all. So many people will be freed over this night.
That is a radical step to take. What result do you truly expect?
完全なテロだね。
But soon people will understand that they are free, and that they don't belong to anyone. They will be able to work for themselves, together, without letting the rulers dictate what to do, and finally
完全
justice
に
will
共産主義だね、
arise.
考え方が。
What you are intending to do is a crime. It is not justice.
まあ確かにそうやね。
How do you see justice then? Kids go to prison for a loaf of dry bread. And how many lords do you see punished for stealing from their people, sending them to their deaths in mines or overseas to fight for land? Our masters wouldn't hear us. So now it's time to sing the song of the merry men. Will you let us do our duty?
Oh. 究極の選択だな。これ爆破させたらどうなるの？これバケツにタバコを捨てたら見逃すってことだよね。
When the law serves only the few, it can no longer be trusted. Every man is equal, and he has a right to choose his own way. And I shall not stop you.
Oh.
So, you're interested in Russian literature now?
Quite, lately.
It is an interesting book. I remember a few lines.
Really? I tried reading it myself, but I had a hard time understanding it.
Yes, Doctor. It's about intelligence. Sherlock, I vaguely recall one of the lines. Sometimes it takes something more than intelligence to act intelligently. There were also a few words along the lines of pain and suffering are always inevitable for a large intelligence and a deep heart. Tell me, Doctor, does my brother show any signs of pain or suffering?
Not that I know of.
Because you see, Doctor, behind all of his masquerade, my brother does possess a deep heart. So deep that he does not recall where he places his love.
Well, I'm sure that...
His love and his duty that, in the first place, should be directed towards the Empire. For without it, we would be nothing. A country filled with uncivilized men. I should leave now. Sherlock, Dr. Watson.
Holmes, what just happened? What was that?
The start of a new world. Anything in the post, Watson? Any clients worthy of our attention?
Only a second reminder from Mrs. Hudson about our new neighbour. She urges you to remove your...
Oh, I don't care about that.
Holmes, the lady who will be moving in shortly has requested the use of our spare room to place all of her boxes.
Wait, what? A lady?
女性が来る。ほう。 チャールズ・フォーリーは兄の復讐を果たすため、邪悪な計画を組織してそれを実行した。二人の命を奪い、無実の男に罪を着させようとした。実は一味はロンドンで革命を起こす計画をしているメリーラに雇われていた。さらに彼は大英博物館が所有する古代の宝石強盗を組織した。彼の罪は死刑に値する。ちょっと待って。はいはいはい。ですよね。今回割とすんなりやったな。これちょっと別の結末入れていい？火つけたらどうなるのかっていうのがちょっと気になるんだけど。これはいいとして。方面数選んで、今度は。
Charles Foley, you were a witness to a double murder. You were standing next to Vercotti when Butler fired at your accomplice. The jeweler missed him, but they proceeded to kill each other with simultaneous shots.
Even if
your intention was to retrieve the stolen treasure, you did not intend to kill.
二人が殺し合ったの見ただけでしょ、だって。
Inspector Lestrade of that fact, so your sentence should be the lighter.
You are a fine gentleman, with your fake pity.
I do what I think is right. It is never due to pity. Farewell, Foley. I shall leave now, Watson. Gentlemen, please take our friends here into custody.
Where are you?
I have unfinished business.
Be careful with the lamps. Don't bring them too close to the barrels.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Who's there?
That is of no importance. What matters is who you are and the plans that you have here.
かっけえな、タバコ吹かしてるホームズ。
So you can stop us from carrying them out?
Eventually, yes.
Hey, careful. You'll blow us all up.
I'm listening.
We are a group known as the Merry Men. But I suppose you knew that already. We are the men who've already lost everything of value in their lives. We are ruined shopkeepers. We are workers who were fired from their jobs. Honest people who were robbed. We were forced out from our homes and thrown onto the street. And all of this in the name of the so-called law. The laws that were set out by our government. The laws that make the commoners only more vulnerable and the wealthy more protected. We are not only from the British Empire. Some of us are from the New Lands, America, Australia, and we are many. But men we are still, and we are merry for that we stopped being afraid. For those powers that be had done their best to plant the fear inside our souls, and we accepted it so easily. The fear advised us to keep our heads bowed. It prevented us from fighting. Bankers and politicians, they own our lives, our work, our bread, and they push us to compete between each other, just to see who may serve them better. But in the end, they are the few, so they are weak. They are nothing without their titles. We should not fear them. Our so-called masters should fear us instead. The time has come for our group to stand tall. Our great and many merry men. We are going to blow up the London Stock Exchange. No lives shall be lost. But ownerships, debts, and property titles? They shall all be destroyed. They're only papers, after all. So many people will be freed over this night.
That is a radical step to take. What result do you truly expect?
Chaos. But soon people will understand that they are free, and that they don't belong to anyone. They will be able to work for themselves, together, without letting the rulers dictate what to do, and finally justice will arise.
What you are intending to do is a crime. It is not justice.
How do you see justice, then? Kids go to prison for a loaf of dry bread. And how many lords do you see punished for stealing from their people? Sending them to their deaths in mines, or overseas to fight for land? Our masters wouldn't hear us. So now it's time to sing the song of the merry men. Will you let us do our duty?
はい。
When people fight the order, they are too blind to see the consequences that throw society into chaos. I shall stop your actions, but not you. Run. Now!
わわわわわわわわ。あ。いや。マジかいな。
So, you're interested in Russian literature now?
Quite, lately.
It is an interesting book. I remember a few lines.
Really? I tried reading it myself, but I had a hard time understanding it.
Yes, Doctor. It's about intelligence. Sherlock, I vaguely recall one of the lines. Sometimes it takes something more than intelligence to act intelligently. There were also a few words along the lines of pain and suffering are always inevitable for a large intelligence and a deep heart.
兄貴の前だと素直じゃねえな。
Tell me, Doctor, does my brother show any signs of pain or suffering?
Not that I know of.
Because you see, Doctor,
恥ずかしがりですね。
behind all of his masquerade, my brother does possess a deep heart. So deep that he does not recall where he places his love.
Well, I'm sure that...
私はちょっと
and his duty that, in the first place, should be directed towards the Empire. For without it, we would be nothing. A country filled with uncivilized men.
And the Empire needs order and discipline. It has no room for chaos.
People who commit crimes, or at the very least intend them, deserve punishment, Sherlock. Without justice, there can be no civilization.
But we serve the truth, not justice.
Your truth, Doctor, that may prove immoral. Allowing people to terrorize London, destabilizing the whole empire.
Terrorize only the powers whom you serve, Mycroft. Not I, not Watson, not Mrs. Hudson, not Wiggins.
Sherlock, the merry men are to be stopped.
Not by me. You created the merry men. Stop them yourself. Only make sure that you don't create 10 more merry men by arresting the one.
Good night, Dr. Watson.
Anything in the post, Watson?
なるほど。
Any clients worthy of our attention?
Only a second reminder from Mrs. Hudson about our new neighbour. She urges you to remove your...
Oh, I don't care
新しい隣人。
about that.
Holmes, the lady who will be moving in shortly has requested the use of our spare room to place all of her boxes.
Wait, what? A lady?
ああ。チャールズ・フォーリーは大英博物館が所有する古代の宝石の窃盗を組織した罪で刑務所に収容されることは確かだ。実は一味はロンドンで革命を起こす計画をしているメリーダに雇われていた。チャールズ・フォーリーはハーフムーン通りで起きた殺人に直接関与していない。このような状況を考慮して彼の刑は減刑されてもいいという結論に達したです。では決断を受け入れます。ああ、びっくりした。最終的に完了します。はい。彼らの犯罪、君の処罰。罪ある兄弟。あ、終わった。ああ。ああ、オーストラリアから来たあの奥さん。これにて、シャーロック・ホームズ、クライム&パニッシュメンツ、罪と罰、クリアでございます。ああ、なんか、犯人と亡くなった 犯人というか関係者と亡くなった方が一堂に会してる。なんか悲しいな。いやでも面白いゲームでしたね。なんかシャーロック・ホームズの世界になんかどっぷり浸かれるというか体感できるというか、でなんかすごくいい作品ですね。なんか映画みたいな感じがあって、あったな。すっごいおしゃれなエンディング。わーん。おー。もともとシャーロック・ホームズは、映画だったりドラマだったりすごい見てたので、こういう結構出てるんだよね、シャーロック・ホームシリーズのゲームは。でなんか一番こうなんだろうな、世界観というかこの作品の中に入れた感じがしますね。で結構ね、推理もそうだけど、謎解きっていうか、もう面白くてよかったですね。おっと。タバコ吸ってる。タバコ吸う姿かっこいい。うん。常にホームズは頭の中で何を考えてんのかな。事件簿を開く。おう。クライムズ&パニッシュメント。何もない。はいはいはい。メリーランの張り紙。ああ、人物像もいっぱい出て。終了する。ああ、そんな感じか。というわけで、シャーロック・ホームズ、クライムズ&パニッシュメンツ、罪と罰、これにて終了でございます。またなんかね、こういう推理系っていうか、謎解きゲーやってみたいんで、また見つけたらやろうかなと思います。自分が一番最初にやったのは LA ノワールっていう、まだプレイステーション4の時かなにやったんですけど、そこから結構こういうのが好きだなっていうのが分かったんで、なんかね、もう一個ねあるんですよ、シャーロック・ホームズのゲームで。なんだっけな、シャーロック・ホームズ、悪魔の娘ってやつか。そうだね、これもやってみたいかな、もし機会があれば。はい。というわけで、 最後までご視聴いただき誠にありがとうございます。また別のゲームでお会いいたしましょう。それでは、バイ。Thank you.